Hello, welcome back. I'm Darcy Darkness. This is Behind the Mash Reviews, and this is Thursday, which is usually meaning that I am reviewing and making a Joshua Weissman recipe. Oh my god, am I feeling okay? Yes. So, I love cinnamon rolls or cinnamon swirls, whatever you actually call them. And I made the Japanese milk bread last week as dinner rolls and a loaf, and loved it so much that I said, oh my god, this would be amazing as cinnamon swirls rolls, whatever. And then lo and behold, looked at the recipe, and the recipe does say that it is the Japanese milk bread. So I'm going to do that again today. I wasn't going to do all the steps. Hubby said, why not? Joshua does them, so just do them. So do as Joshua would do. But I'm doing a little bit of a twist on the cinnamon rolls or the cinnamon swirls. I am going to be making like an apple type of topping for after they come out. It's just the way I really like cinnamon rolls to have the apple on top. So I'm going to be doing that as well. And I'll additionally put that in the video as well. So I have, you see my eggs are out because I had to separate them, and that's a two-handed job. So I have done that already. I'm about to make the tangzong, which again is like a little thickened roux, which has got 2 tablespoons of unbleached flour and 2 tablespoons, which is 30 ml of filtered water, which I'll get from the Virgin Pure, and a 1/4 cup of whole milk, which is 60 ml, and I'll do that, and then I will thicken it up and then leave it to cool, and then we'll get on to the dough. Well, I have made the tangzong. I have measured out the ingredients. Right here is the warm milk. Again, use the Lavazza milk heater thing. Sorry, milk frother and milk warmer. That's the 2 eggs, large eggs, and 1 egg yolk. The tangzong, and this is the flour that I'm using. Yes, he uses unbleached all-purpose flour, but I'm choosing to use the Marriage's bread flour because there's more protein in that type of flour, so it's actually tends to be better for pastries and things like that, and this is basically a bread pastry type thing. So I am going to, this is the butter that I got from Costco, and I used to spend a fortune on it in the supermarket, and I managed to get like a 500 gram block of it. So I am just going to measure 56 grams of butter, and I'm using the Kenwood again. Yes, you heard me correctly. I'm using the bread maker because it is a better way to proof the dough, even though it is semi-warmer in my even though it's warmer in my house at the moment, it's still not warm enough to proof the dough. That was 50. Well done. So 54, we need 56, 55, of course it was going to do that. 56. So we got 56 grams of butter, and again I'm just going to just slightly break this up. And you don't have to do this step because when you're actually putting the, ASMR in this morning, you just want it like cup so you can just shove it into the bread maker. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got the milk, the yeast, the flour, the sugar, salt, eggs, butter, and the neutral taste oil is for spraying the pan that's going in. I bought this from Amazon. It's actually a lasagna container. I did have like a glass PYREX, but I wanted something like this, and I'm still trying to get the kitchen craft sticker of it, because a kitchen craft oven proof dish. And again, if you want it, it will be in the box below, the link for this. So, oh, I'm totally destroying the things, which is not anything new. So I am just going to put everything together into the bread maker, and then I'm going to put the bread maker on. So I have added everything, the flour, the sugar, and yes, I've added cinnamon to my bar. Don't come for me. I just love cinnamon and want the actual cinnamon roll to taste like it, the actual bread itself, pastry, whatever. So the tangzong is in, eggs, milk, flour, yeast, everything, salt, all in here with the addition to cinnamon. And I am going to put it on, I'm going to put it into my Kenwood bread maker and setting 10, and that will be on. It will mix it, it will do everything, and then it will proof it for me, so it will all be done, and then I'll be able to bring out the dough and actually do the next step. So as the Kenwood is doing its magic, I'm just going to measure the sugars, and so this is like muscovado sugar and dark brown. So this is dark brown sugar right here, which I don't have a lot of, so I'm just trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff that's actually in my cupboard. So 110 grams, so the other one is 2 tablespoons, so I'm just going to make this up and then add the 2 tablespoons as well. So it's like 200 and not 270. So it's like 240. So I'm just trying to get the stuff. There we go, 240. And it does have butter that's going to go into it as well, but it says it's only got 17 grams of cinnamon. Now that's not anywhere near enough for me. If anyone knows me knows that I absolutely love cinnamon, and my muffins tend to end up coming out the same colour as this. Now I got this in Costco. It's much cheaper than buying those little ones at the supermarket. So it says 17 grams, but I'm going to probably go for closer to like the maybe 20, 25. Well, I know it's in the dough as well, so I'm just, he says 17, I'm going to go for 20, because, well, that's just me, I'm just a bit extra, and if Joshua's not aware of me, he'll find out eventually that I'm a bit extra, no doubt. So this is the sugars and the cinnamon, and it smells so good. I'm just going to get a whisk and mix this just a little. Just get that. I was going to get my hands in there, but oh, you know what? Yep, there we go. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm doing it just to get the lumps out, and I can easily get, oh my god, that smells so good. Are you a cinnamon lover like I am? Do I eat cakes all the time? That's most likely what people are thinking. And actually, I try not to. I try and stay on track, but I've been dealt a bunch of crappy cards since August last year. No excuse. No excuse. I stay on plan. I try not to have cheat days all the time. I know some people like to have one cheat day a week. When Irma comes a calling, you literally, if it's not nailed down, you're eating it. These are like my favourite. On my birthday, I did eat. I just wanted cinnamon rolls and peace and quiet, which I got a little of because I got my cinnamon swirl, and that's really about it. But this year I'm getting Bavaria because it's a big birthday. Or big anniversary, should I say. I'm having my Bavarian Bakery fudge, or is it caramel donuts with cream? Oh my god, they're like the best donuts ever. And I'm going to be getting my domino cake from Christie's, which is a bakery in Airdrie. And a long way just to get a cake. My mum used to get me one after the dentist. Orthodontist, sorry. And it's nostalgia. So I'm going to get that, and then cream donuts, and I'll probably, if this works out as well as the bread last week and the rolls, then I'll most likely be making my own cinnamon rolls rather than actually buying them, because what's the point in buying something substandard when you can make excellence yourself? Yes, tooting my own horn right there. So I have mixed this with my hands, clean hands of course, and it is just a bunch of sugar and nominees, and that'll be on for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and the butter should be a really good soft texture, because it needs to be like, it's not to be like obviously like liquid, it's to be still a solid but room temperature, so you can spread it carefully and you don't rip your dough, because no one wants to be dealing with that. You really don't want to be dealing with that. So I have made this up, as you've seen, sugar, cinnamon, and oh my god, it smells so delicious. So I will be back, and it will be more for making the cinnamon roll itself, cutting it, putting it into the ovenware dish, which will be greased. I'm not going to use a neutral tasting oil, because a lot of neutral tasting oils have inflammatory product ingredients in them. A lot of the stuff is already burned away through the process of creating other things. So I will be using good old-fashioned butter, because who doesn't want greased butter? Butter. So that's the slight changes that I'm doing. So I will be back in a couple of hours to deal with the dough, and then we'll get to see cinnamon rolls, and I can't wait to eat them. It's been punched down, it's risen, it's bouncy as you can see, and I'm just going to roll it out, and it's to be rolled out so I can cut it into 12. Yeah, it says a dozen, so I'm just rolling it out, and this dough is so soft. It's not like a normal dough that I'm used to actually rolling out. So I'm trying to, in the space that I've got, rolling this out. Joshua had his, and it was like really quite thin, and I'm trying not to lose it to the floor, because, well, if it's going to end up in the floor, it's going to end up in the floor, and it's going to be me that does it, because this is actually the second lot of dough. I just wanted to give you an FYI that I hit something on my Kenwood bread maker that started to cook it. And if you don't believe me, this is what happened. It actually cooked it. So yeah, I do mess up sometimes. Sometimes a wee bit too shockingly bad. But again, things happen. It's alright. I caught it in time. So I caught it in time so I would actually be able to not miss a thing, basically. And again, trying to, I thought it would be easier to actually do it on some greaseproof paper, so it would be easier for me to actually deal with. But his was really thin, and I'm struggling to get it really thin. So it's supposed to just be for my recording, but hey. So yeah, like I said, it's humongous big bowl. So if I keep pushing, more stuff's going to end up just falling the fuck off. So apparently I have to make 12 out of this, and I'm just trying to get it to go like this, not pull it completely off. But his was a wee bit longer, but again, I'm stretching as far as I can get it to go. So again, it's some sort of rectangle. There we go. If you can call that a rectangle. It is somewhat a rectangle. So I'm going to get the butter, and he spreads it like right across. And again, this is like, I don't want to like screw up the butter because it's a French butter, so it's like not like regular butter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, even though it's not supposed to be melted, I am going to nuke it. Even though it's been out overnight, it shouldn't have a problem with this bedding. Like I said, it's a different type of butter. If this was just a regular supermarket butter, it would be much, it would literally be, it would be melted, put it that way, to the point where if it's in a hot-ish kitchen, it would most likely be liquid. It wouldn't be a solid anymore. So I'm literally just putting it on for like 10 seconds, and I'm going to do that. So I did this for, like you said, 10 seconds, and look at it. So it's much better. So I'm just going to, again, spread all this nommy butter all over the dough. You have no idea. If I can make these, I was discussing this. But anybody who knows me, they know how much I love cinnamon swirls. And it's to the point where it's proper, like, addiction. It is a proper addiction to that type of food. But I can't eat a few. That's more than just a few. And a sitting, easy, no problem whatsoever. So I'm just spreading this as you would over the dough. It's probably not as pretty as Joshua's, but hey, not here for like that. I'm here for taste and nommy cinnamon goodness. I hadn't actually tasted cinnamon swirls actually until, well, what, a year ago or something like that. But they actually are my favourite. I love cinnamon, anything with cinnamon. And hunters of it as well. I'm that person that's like, that's not cinnamon, you know. That's pretty much me saying that all the time. Oh, look at that. Nommy nom. Look at all that butter. Butter. I love butter. Definitely, it's a lot of butter. I'm just trying to make sure I've not missed any pieces of butter. And we don't want to wreck the dough as well. Just want to cover it with nom. So yeah, that's us got all the butter on. I have still to have my lunch and train in the next hour. So yeah, this is probably going to be a dessert for me later. It's only Thursday. Yes, but like I said in my previous video that I did today, because I do my videos on a Thursday and a Friday these days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's what works for me, because again, waiting for stuff to be delivered, etc. That I have put my Thursday's like the new Saturday. So I've got that nommy sugar cinnamon delicious nom that I'm trying to like spread over a wee bit. Make sure I get every single bit of butter covered. But I'm also trying to make sure that I don't put it all in the one spot. My depth perception and my spatial awareness is terrible, so half of this top, well, not top in the filling will end up on the floor or in another part of the island, basically. And I mix this with my hands so I could actually get it properly mixed. I use slightly more than Joshua said on his recipe, but like I said, I love me cinnamon. So I do, so I'm putting this on, because in the filling it's 1 cup of sugar, which is dark brown. I decided to go for half a cup because I'm trying to use up what I actually have rather than buying more crap that I don't need. And then I use light muscovado sugar as well for the majority of it, and I use the Saigon cinnamon from Costco as well. It's like I said, it's humongous. It's such a big container you get for the price. So I have literally covered this, every single wee bit, and I'm trying my hardest not to get as much on the floor. It's like, get all that butter covered. I actually still have a wee bit left. Sorry, I just hit that there. So he uses a cream cheese frosting now. I spoke about this last week when I was making the rolls. That's not going to happen with me, I'm sorry, but I do not like cream cheese in anything sweet. I just can't. I can't deal with it. The fact that I make cheesecake and have to deal with that smell is one of those smells I actually detested when I was pregnant with my son. Anytime I could smell cream cheese, I literally wanted to be sick. So, aversions in a bit. So this is all I've got left, is this wee bit, and I'm trying to get every single wee tiny bit on here. And by the time I roll it up, there'll still be some like extra leftover bits. So I'm just trying to make sure that I get it all. I'm like totally packing that in, man. It's like, seriously, everything has to be really, 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 really packed in there. So Joshua actually starts at the kind of longer side, so I'm going to do that too. Make sure. It's such a soft dough, by the way, so be very, very careful. Very, very careful. And again, I am not the best at rolling things like this. Just slowly doing it so we don't rip the dough, and I'm going for the middle bit because it seems to be a bit meatier. So I dusted this with the flour that I was using so it wouldn't stick. Even though non-stick parchment it shouldn't, it does for me. So making sure. And I'm going to pull this all the way back because it's almost off the parchment, as you can see, but it's clean, and I'm knocking shit over, as you do. I am knocking everything over. So that is me, got that. Now I need to just try and get it back onto the parchment. It's a big ass snake, basically. So there we go. A big ass snake. And he said to use a scallop knife, like a bread knife, which I don't have because I didn't order it in time. It's not going to be here. So, trying to push this in. See what I mean about this cinnamon being everywhere? So I've got to make this into, I'm just kind of tidying these up at the ends. Why not? So there. And this has got to be made into 12. So for the filling, done that. Right, and then for the long edge roll, which we've did, using serrated knife, cut the dough into 12 equal parts. Arrange the rounds in a baking dish, then cover with a damp towel. So this is going to have to proof again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up and then show you what it looks like in the actual container, which I've already buttered already. My cinnamon swirls are not up to the, well, the pretty aestheticness of basically Joshua's. And I've just dropped my other phone, which again happens all the time. Sorry if that scared you. So that's what they look like. And now I'm going to cover them with a damp tea towel while I have my lunch. And then that will be me. I just have to bake them after that. So it says 35 to 45 minutes. So they could literally sit there for a good chunk of time. And here we have them for their second rise. Which, again, they're all like totally stuck together. So yeah, that will be going in the oven at, it says 375 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 190 degrees C. And anything that you know that Joshua actually has that I have made, I don't always cook it at that temperature because I don't want it effed up, basically. So I'm going to put 175 for my non-fan assisted oven, because I have one regular oven and one fan assisted oven, and the fan assisted oven I used to heat, well, not heat these, I put these in the other oven and I put the damp tea towel over it, and then I set it at 125 degrees centigrade, just so it could proof for a second time. So once I come out of training, I will bake these, I think. Or I'll do half my training and then I'll come back and put this on and do the other half my training when I come back. But this is it. I can't wait to try them. I have to do the glaze and make the apples, and that's me. This recipe from Joshua actually hasn't caused me much crazy as the previous recipes that I've made from his Unapologetic Cookbook and using his videos as well. If you don't have the cookbook, you can get majority of his recipes from his website, where he does have his videos that are on YouTube as well to help you, and I always look at his videos for prep before I actually do a recipe, even though I've got the recipe right there. I'm better at visually learning, so a lot of people on the spectrum actually are. I hate using that term, but a lot of people who are autistic find it easier to learn by watching something rather than, you know, reading something. So I watch his videos, and then I just look at the recipe when I need to. I find it really difficult to actually follow a recipe. And again, it's spoke about and talked about a lot of the time in sorted foods, and also sorted food, and also Joshua himself. If you're a more competent a cook, you tend not to want to look at instructions. You want to just go off ahead and do it your own way. But sometimes you have to. So this is going to make 12. As you can see, nommy things stuck together. And then I'm going to be drizzling cinnamon vanilla icing, just like with ice and sugar, with a wee bit of cinnamon, a wee bit of vanilla on top, because I don't like cream cheese, and we spoke about that earlier. And then these are apples that I've got to use up, pink ladies, and I'm just going to peel them, core them, and slice them, and then I'm going to cook them with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of cinnamon too, because apples and cinnamon just go so well together. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm a little bit behind because of the mess up earlier, but it's not anywhere near as bad, and I'm not going anywhere near as crazy for now. For now. For now. But I'm so can't wait to try these today. I'm really excited, because if I can make them, then this is going to save me going into the local place that sells them, which is not really that local. I have to drive there to get there, and sometimes they don't even have these, or even the ones with the apple on them, which are my favourite. So if I can make these myself, then I don't need to go out for them. I don't need to do anything apart from make them myself, and I can do it in the morning. They'll be ready for later on that day. So it's dangerous, but it's also a good thing if I can make them myself, and I don't have to rely on a restaurant or a bakery to actually get them. I can actually just have them whenever I want to. So this is the second proof, and oven is on, and then once I'm going to give it about 30 minutes to actually come up to full temperature, because even though my ovens have actually been tested, etc., I still like to make sure when I'm cooking any sort of pastries and breads that my oven is at the correct and ample temperature to actually cook the food. So I'll give it 30 minutes. That gives me time to get changed and start training. So watch this speed. I was contemplating whether I should show you what the actual outcome of this batch actually turned out like. Now, I don't have a picture of all 12. There's 9 left, because I ate 3 of them. I'm not ashamed to say that, because I do love them. They're not as big as the ones that I buy, but again, they are really delicious. I cooked them at 150 instead of 190, and I cooked them for 40 minutes, so an extra 5 minutes, but it was 40 degrees less in the oven and at a lower shelf, and they still managed to get more brown than I would actually expect. I would say they're burnt, but apparently there's a few stages before this colour that means burnt. So they don't have frosting on them, which I didn't actually get time to do the cinnamon vanilla frosting. Cinny vanilla, as I was calling it, or vanilla, cinny vanilla. It just sounds really good, in my honest opinion. So the cinny vanilla icing, I hadn't had time to put on. I hadn't done yet, but I did make the apple filling. Topping. That is basically just apples, a wee bit of vanilla, a wee bit of cinnamon, and a teeny bit of water, and an 1/8 of a cup of caster sugar, and just to make the apples delicious. So this is what it looks like, and yes, there's a few in the middle that got a tad burnt. In my opinion, that is burnt to me. But inside, I'm going to show you, as you can see, I ate 3. But look at how soft that is. I'm going to actually pull it out right now and show you. Look at that. Soft. And am I going to eat it? Yes. I stuck my finger in it, aren't I? So, again, look at how soft that is. And look at the cinnamon, The caramelization on that is absolutely ridiculous. I added 5 more grams of cinnamon to Joshua's. Do I need icing on that? No. And what I actually thought about is I actually don't like the topping of a cinnamon roll. That's not upside down. Like, when I pull this apart, I'll show you. It's like, oh, look at that. Oh, money. Went all Guy Fieri there. Fieri. But look at this. It is absolutely ridonkulous. And how soft it is. Still soft after the next day. Still delicious. But I tend to eat to about there anyway. I don't eat the full, like, hard bit of a cinnamon. And look, oh. So I was contemplating making another batch so I could make it pretty. But I was like, you know what? No. In real life, not everything is pretty. I don't think it needs icing or the apple topping that I usually have on them anyway when I buy them. But I'm going to make another batch tomorrow when I get the time to watch, so I don't not mess it up, but I can watch. That's me just had like my breakfast, and I'm not ashamed that I'm tearing into this right now, or while I'm recording. I don't care. I'm actually at the moment waiting on my lunch while I snaffle like a savage, and I don't care. I have no shame when it comes to cake I like. So, oh my god, I don't like ASMR, and I'm probably doing it right now, and I'm most likely doing it right now, but holy Jesus Christ. If you haven't tried making milk bread, it is really easy. It's an extra step, and look at that, so soft, so soft. So this wee tiny extra step that you're doing is making like a little roux type thickener with the flour and the milk and the water. I am going to try making it with unsweetened almond milk so I can make them vegan. Just not right now. I will do it eventually. Like, adapt the recipe to make it vegan, but right now I don't want to make it vegan. I want to make it buttery, and I want to make it delicious and full of eggies and just deliciousness. I'm not saying that vegan food's not delicious. It's just I prefer butter. Now, as you can see, I've just eaten one while on camera. Well, my hands. It's so good. I just wanted to show you how, even though it's slightly darker than I would have liked, this is the next day and it's still incredibly soft. And really delicious. Is it dangerous that I can make them from scratch? Maybe. If I only make them once every so often, then it's okay. But I won't be having this treat every week. It means I don't have to go into another place and buy a substandard cinnamon roll or cinnamon swirl, when I can be at home and make them myself and have them warm straight from the oven as well, so they'll be even more fresh. Won't have any crap preservatives or anything to make them like shelf stable either. Is this recipe a thumbs up or thumbs down? And a yay or a nay? It's definitely a yay. There's a couple of things I did differently, which I did show in each step of the video. I added a wee bit extra cinnamon, I added slightly less sugar as well. It still worked out delicious. I actually sprayed these with a little bit of oil as well, just so they wouldn't get to that colour, but they still did. Have you tried the Hokkaido milk bread? Have you tried it as cinnamon rolls? Would you try it as cinnamon rolls? Who would like to share this with me? Because indeed I could eat all 12, but that would just be greedy and that would just be unacceptable. As I smile because I really want to finish them. But all these normie carbs and protein, and again I used a strong white bread flour marriages again, and there's higher protein in this type of flour, so therefore I'm like, it's high in protein, I can eat it, it's fine. So that was my excuse yesterday, eating 3 in a row. So if you like cooking review, honest and genuine, whether there's fuck-ups or mess-ups and truth, basically, please like this video. If you enjoy watching my videos where I take a recipe book and I go through the recipes and I make them from start to finish, please comment below what you would like me to look for next, or is there a chef or a cook or something that I should look into and make their food and show how I would do it along with following instructions. Please like this video. Please share it if you think someone would benefit from it. If you like my content, please think about subscribing to my YouTube channel or following even the channel, and also following it on Instagram and on Twitch, where you can see me game multiple times a day in the AM and in the PM every single day. Come over there and chat in my own wee weird quirky ways. I'm Darcy Darkness, and this is Behind the Mash Reviews, and that was Japanese milk bread cinnamon rolls. Take one.